if you are using Vite for server-side rendering in React or in Vue, and you need to fetch data on the server side initially, I think one of the best and the safest way to accomplish this is to use a Vite library called Vika, which is the Norwegian pronunciation of the word. But you're forgiven if you pronounce that word the English way. The documentation for using Vika is very good, in my opinion, but occasionally I do get questions about deployment errors on Vercel that look something like this when the app is deployed to Vercel. You might also run into this Vercel error if you are upgrading from the legacy Vite plugin SSR library, which was what Vika used to be called. In the documentation, if we press Command and K on the Mac and type in deployed, we are presented with these options. If you click on the Vercel Vika link, it'll take us to this part of the docs where it says you can deploy Vika to Vercel simply by using the Vercel API route. And under the API route, it'll give us the link to a GitHub page where we are provided with simple instructions on how to deploy to Vercel. Now, this branch, the main branch itself, this is for Vue.js, but the instructions will also work for React Vite SSR applications. Obviously, you have a Vercel account, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. But if you only have a free tier Vercel account, the procedure is exactly the same. In fact, I only have a free tier Vercel account. Now I will address these bullet points here, but the thing that often gets confused is this part under the integration points section, where it mentions API routes and this directory and the SSR.js file underneath it. So what you have to do in your project, in your repo, is that you have to create an API directory and you have to create a file called ssr.js with these content here. And the reason why this point is often forgotten is that you look at number one, it says fork this repository. Well, if you start out with your own application, that is to say, if you spin up a Vite React SSR application on the client side, and then later on you decided, oh, I want to try SSR and I want to try some server-side rendering data fetching, and you add the Vika library, you're not necessarily going to fork this repo. So you're going to miss this part where you have to add a folder called API and the ssr.js file, and you can copy and paste this code in there. And then the other thing is that at the root of your directory, you have to create a JSON file called vercel.json with the following configuration object. And as you can see here, where the destination is pointing to the directory that we just created. And make sure the spelling is correct and make sure that the name of the directory is the same. I know those are trivial kind of mistakes, but they do happen. But essentially, that is what the major stumbling block is. So just to drive the point home one more time, here in my project, I am, as you can see, using the Vike library with my Vite and React SSR server-side rendering application. I created a directory called API and a JavaScript file called ssr.js, following the pattern that was established in the GitHub repository, which is part of documentation that I show you previously. And then at the root of my directory, I created a file called vercel.json or JSON, whatever you want to pronounce that. And I pasted this configuration object. Again, make sure the spelling is correct. Make sure you name this, whatever you name this directory, make sure that it matches here. One more thing. When you push your application up to Vercel, in the settings and under the output directory per the instructions in the GitHub repo by Vike, make sure that you change the output directory from the default dist to dist client, like so. And of course, you save it and then deploy the app. The reason for that is because if we look at our application, now I've built this app already locally. Of course, it will get built once you deploy it to Vercel, but in the distribution directory, we have a client directory and a server. So we want the output to be on the client side. Because again, this is an SSR app, so we have two components. So therefore, we need to point the output directory to the client. Don't forget to click Save. And as you can see here, I've successfully deployed the server-side rendering application to Vercel. Again, I have the free tier, and it's working. It's fetching data. If you would like to learn how to create a Vite with React server-side rendering application with data fetching, I will have a video about that that I will release shortly. If you like this type of video, please consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber. If you are already a subscriber, thank you for being a subscriber. I appreciate a thumbs up. Have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.